Hi there folks, back again for another video. This one's a little bit later today obviously, but as you can tell. But yeah, thought I would dive in and have a chat about something that has been on my mind this weekend. So, as a lot of people will know, one of the new made-to-order sets that arrived on the web store for Games Workshop this weekend was the Breaking of the Fellowship one, as you can see here. A great set that represents, well, effectively Gandalf throwing himself up against the Balrog in Moria, in Khazad-dûm, and also the Fellowship as they were when they were fighting at Amon Hen, running away from the Uruk-hai to try and escape onto boats and all that kind of good stuff. And this kind of just got me thinking actually about the different sets and model ranges out there from the Lord of the Rings back in the day that I would absolutely love to see come back as sort of like a made-to-order collection. So one of the nice sites that I've used before when we've talked about things is this one. The Miniatures Workshop and the Lost Minis Wiki, and so I thought I'd come on here and I would have a look at what is available now. Just so you're aware, this has got a whole bunch of different codes on here. I don't believe this is everything, but it's most of the stuff that existed for the Lord of the Rings over its sort of production schedule from beginning to end, and there are some very nice options within these, but I was really drawn to maybe like 4-ish, I think it was. We start off with the Captured by Gondor set. Now I really like this one. I have that Gollum with eating the fish, and I believe I have that Faramir sitting somewhere in a box. I think he's painted. But the thing that's really cool is it comes with this little diorama set piece between Frodo and Sam, which I think is really nice. So it kind of gives you that look of Frodo and Sam as they're, you know, chowing down on some potatoes for a coney stew before they get ambushed by Faramir and Damrod and the rest of their Gondorian Rangers. Now I really like those Gondorian Ranger sculpts anyway. I think they're fantastic stuff, as you can see. There's the old Damrod looking pretty cool. Faramir, I have that model. I think the only thing that's a bit weird with my version of it is that his bow's a bit squiffy now. But yeah, you've got a really awesome look at Sam, who's tending to the fire with a really cool metal model. Frodo lounging against a tree, having a little bit of a relax. Gollum chowing down on some fish. And yeah, just a decent little box set, I think, actually. And one that kind of speaks to the fun, almost vignette nature, I think, of a lot of the Lord of the Rings range. And so yeah, that one's definitely up there with one of the box sets that I would have chosen to bring back as a made-to-order set. Maybe we'll see that in the future. Next up we have Warg Attack. This is mainly because I've been painting a lot of Rohan recently, and so adding this into the mix was definitely up there for me. This is the set that came out as part of the Two Towers series, and it comes with Aragorn mounted, Theoden mounted, and this is the unarmoured version of him, which is apparently very hard to get hold of. You get Sharku and 2 Warg riders, but as you can see, that's the unpainted version, well, sorry, the unarmoured version of Theoden there, atop his horse, Snowmane. So yeah, very cool little box set. Let's crack this one open and get a better look at them. So there you go. So it gives you the 2 hero models, and then you get a bunch of enemies to go alongside it as well. I think it would just be nice to have that version of Aragorn that you could use to represent him when he was younger as well. You could use it to represent Aragorn as Thorongil, I suppose, which would be kind of cool. And you could maybe do sort of like a story in Middle-earth where you play as him back when he was fighting alongst Theoden, when Theoden was a little bit younger. But yeah, I think it's mainly because of that unarmoured version of Theoden there on the back of his horse with his sword held up. I think it's a very, very cool model. I quite like the old metal Wargs as well. I think they're a nice kit. I think there's something to be said about the expanded plastic versions that they did, obviously. But I think those are a really nice little box set. And so yeah, a very nice little set that I think is well worth them bringing back at some point in the future. Although of course these big metal models are something of a trial to use, unfortunately. Next up is a little bit of a small one. It's not one that I necessarily... not all of these options that I chose had to be really big models. I thought this one was pretty fun. So this is Sam and Bill the pony, looking very nice. You got Sam there with his little carrot at the ready, and you get an adorable Bill the pony with it as well. I know a friend who's managed to get their hands on that model, and it is very, very nice, as you can see. Very cool. A nice little set, something a little bit smaller, but again kind of speaks to the vignette nature of playing games with the Lord of the Rings, and you could use it for a really fun little scenario perhaps where the Fellowship have to get Sam and Bill off the end of the table while they get ambushed by something. You could throw some interesting new story elements into the mix just to play around with it campaign wise when you're placing games with Lord of the Rings. Very cool. So yeah, just two nice models really. Next up is this one. I realise you can see these things up here, but just don't look at my tabs, alright? So the next of the sets that I would really love to see come back, and I think it has been a made to order set at some point in the past, because there's like a big slew of them a couple of years ago now, but it's the Attack at Weathertop's box. So the front cover there doesn't necessarily throw anything off, but this kind of gives you a look at it. So it's Aragorn with torch at the ready and his sword in hand, and you get a campfire, and you also get each of the different hobbits, but they're in a slightly different stance than they normally are. So Frodo's got his sword at the ready, holding onto his cloak, as you can see there, which looks kind of cool. I just love that stance from Frodo. You've got Sam with sword in hand, ready to fight against anyone that comes near him, which I think is a really nice guardian pose for him. And then Merry and Pippin are posed in a really nice way so that they can stand guard on either side of them, which I think is really nice. And I think it's a really nice upgrade from the original basic Metal Fellowship set that they did, where they've all got similar outfits, but they've sort of tweaked them and done things in a little bit of a different way. And then of course you get Aragorn there with his flaming brand to throw into the face of a Nazgul, if he so desires. So yeah, very nice. And then of course you get each of the ring wraiths, but they've existed in kits before and things. I have that Witch King model, and I'm fairly sure I have those ring wraiths as well. I've got enough to do the Attack at Weathertop, he says. Yes, I do. I've got enough to do the Attack at Weathertop, but it's really nice to see those ring wraiths in there, which is very cool. Now, second of the models, the sets that I was really fascinated, I would be absolutely, utterly fascinated to see come back, is the Fog on the Barrow-downs one. So it comes with those very awesome shades, which I think are brilliant, even to this day. And obviously this is something that isn't shown in the movies at all, never mind Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. But I have those two models. What I would really love are the Barrow Wights and the Paralysed Hobbits. As you can see, you get a very nice set of them to play around with. That doesn't help at all, does it? Silly old image. But yeah, so you get the 4 of the Barrow Wights there, the shades, drifting forwards, and then you get each of the hobbits who've been wrapped up in their little funeral garbs so that they can get taken by the Barrow Wights and dragged into the Netherrealm as some kind of strange offering. I love that they've got the little crowns on their heads and everything, and they're dressed in their proper attire. It's properly awesome, and it's a great set that didn't need to come out at all because, you know, they weren't doing this kind of thing in the movies. That this wasn't in there, but this kind of gives us a really fun look at what might have happened had it been filmed, and sort of adding to the mythos around the Lord of the Rings, and taking things in that direction and telling the story of Tom Bombadil. So a very cool set, mainly because it comes with those paralysed hobbits, which I think are very cool miniatures indeed, and will be fun for your scenarios. Last but not least, we have the Heroes of Helm's Deem set. So I have recently painted that Theoden and that Gamling. And in fact, I have that Gimli, that Legolas, and that Aragorn. So you might be asking me, why on earth do you need the Heroes of Helm's Deep set back? Well, it's mainly because of that unarmoured version of Éowyn. I think it's possibly one of my favourite miniatures they ever did for Lord of the Rings, and I would just love to have it in my collection. So in essence, what I'm saying is that I really want them to bring back a Heroes of Helm's Deep set, but I don't really want most of it. In fact, I'd be quite happy with just having the Éowyn miniature, which I think is just a phenomenal miniature and would love to paint it up. Éowyn's one of my favourite characters, and so including that in my collection would be amazing. I also quite like that Heldir. I believe I have that Heldir in a box somewhere, sitting in a little tiny compartment. But yeah, would absolutely love to get my hands on that version of Éowyn, because I think it's just a phenomenal miniature. So there you go, just a quick one today, looking at some of the different sets that could be brought back as made to order ones in the future. As I was saying, this one's a very popular one, as I'm sure a lot of people will know. And of course we also got some additional Games Workshop site being weird. There we go. We also got Gandalf the Grey and Old Bilbo Baggins added a couple of weeks ago. They're still going to be available until I believe it's this weekend coming, October the 3rd. October the 1st, not October the 3rd. So it's well worth going to check those out if you're interested in them. Obviously this set is 55 quid, so it depends whether or not you've got your own copy of the Fellowship at home. I have that Gandalf from the Bridget Khazad-dûm. It would be really nice to have the rest of that set. I may have to end up picking it up. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, let me know. Are there sets from the old collections for Lord of the Rings that you would love to see brought back as part of a made-to-order series? Is it one of the ones that I've mentioned? Is it a particular single miniature? I will put this link down below so you can come and have a look at it and let me know if there is something here that you think that would be very cool to see come back. I know a lot of people would love very specific individual miniatures and all sorts of different things that would help them build up their wonderful armies on the tabletop. I know a lot of people really like the likes of the Kings of Men and stuff. Like these classic sets, I think a lot of people would have a lot of fun with. I'm not sure if they still exist. Let's have a look actually while we're here. So what would this be? This would be Minas Tirith, wouldn't it? So they have the old Aragorn there, but I don't think they do Kings of Men. No, they don't do Kings of Men. So another people, I know a lot of people would love to see things like these old classic Kings of Men come back, so they could paint them up in sort of like a Numenorian style to use, you know, perhaps inspired by a show that's out at the moment, for example. But yeah, I know they did Dwarf Kings and all sorts of different things as well. But anyway, there we go. That is a quick look at the kind of stuff that I would love to see brought back as part of a made-to-order series in the future. Check out this one. Oh, what a glorious box set that would be as well. Comes with Gondor. Love a bit of Gondor. But anyway, I digress. I'm now just looking at miniatures for the sake of it. Yeah, let me know what kind of miniatures you would love to see brought back as part of a made-to-order series. Jump down into the comments below and we shall have a chat about it. Yeah. As always, make sure to comment, share, like and subscribe. There is a Ko-fi link down below if you're interested in helping out and dropping a little donation for the videos that I make, if you enjoy what I talk about. But you do not need to. Just liking, sharing and subscribing is great as always. It should be noted that we are closing in on the 1,000 subscriber mark, and if we get to that and you have commented on the community post that features the image of the metal Saruman and Grima Wormtongue, then you could be in with the chance of winning that pair of miniatures that will be sent out to you. If you want to win those, you will need to be a subscriber, and you will need to have commented on that post in some way, however you wish to do so. But there we go. So yeah, some incentives, and also a look back down memory lane. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and we will be back with another video very, very soon. For me, this is very much a kind of, I couldn't afford these when I was younger, so it would be really nice to have them now when I have some disposable income. But there we go. Right, I shall see you folks in another video very soon. Bye for now.